Well, I told you we were going to get in here, and we're going to get in here. I really believe this is the part of the game where everyone fears, right? Everyone says, "Oh, screw it, I'm just throwing it out," right? But it's actually not as hard as you may think. I'm going to explain how, number one, number two, why, and then number three, what you all can do to get better. There's a few foolproof techniques that I'm going to explain to you that's going to allow the club to operate how it's supposed to, instead of operating against yourself, which in turn makes it almost virtually impossible to hit it out of the bunker. So a couple of things I want to get started is how we hold the club and how we stand and why. I'm going to draw a few lines here. This first line right here is going to be my target line, right? This is going to be the line that points right at my pin. Can you guys see that? If you guys can't, you can come down and around. When I hit a bunker shot, I'm actually going to stand a little bit open with my stance, open or pointed to the left with my feet, my body. Does that make sense to you guys? And the reason I'm going to do that is because I need to set up to allow the club to operate, okay? We do not hit a bunker shot with a square club face and digging into the ground, okay? That's not how it's intended. These newer sand wedges that we all have are intended to actually be used to almost bounce through the sand, okay? I'm not going to dig straight at them. I actually open the face, and that's what's going to bounce through the sand, and the sand throws the ball out. So the reason I open my stance, and you guys can all see this, is if I open the club, okay, because again, this is a square club face, you guys can all see that. If I open the club, what happens? Try this in front of you. Have it square like you're going to hit a normal shot, and all I want you to do is open it to where you're adding more loft. So does that point you, which way does that point you? To the right. Does that make sense? So now by opening my stance a little bit to my target line, when I open the face, what happens? The face is pointed at my target. Does that make sense? Again, so if I have a square face and I open the club face, it points off to the right. So if I lined up on my target line and open my club face, I would be hitting it right of my target. So now simply opening my stance and opening the club face is actually pointed at the direction I want to hit the ball. Do you guys understand that? So that,
are you going to be swinging down your foot line?
That's a great question. He said, am I going to swing down my foot line? And that answer is absolutely yes. Okay? So now, if you guys can see this, when I open my club face, I'm not going to swing around my body. Okay? I'm actually going to swing more away or out from my body. Okay? And again, this is meant to be because if I swing around and then swing down, where's my club face pointed? Right of my target, okay? But if I swing out and come back down, I'm replacing or putting that club face back on its target line. Does that make sense to everybody? Question, Al, you good?
Yep.
So again, when I open my club face, it points off to the right. So to counter that, I'm going to open my stance to about a 45-degree angle so that when my club face is open, it's actually going to be pointed at my target. We good there? The other half of this, the other half of the success to this is a couple of things I refer to as we have to take a big swing. We cannot slow down, okay? Meaning we have to maintain our speed through the golf ball, and we have to splash the sand. You should almost never feel the click of the golf ball if we hit a proper sand shot. The idea is that the club is going to bounce through the sand, and the sand is going to throw that ball out, okay? I'll explain it to you like it's a face on, the golf ball is the face on a dollar bill, okay? So what we're going to do is when we swing, we're going to enter at the one end of the dollar bill, swing underneath the face of the bill or the golf ball, and then we're going to exit out the other side. Does that make sense? Or this is a good one. If I put a footprint there, okay, and I put my ball right in the middle of the footprint, okay? What I'm trying to envision, guys, is that I'm going to enter the sand before the golf ball at the heel of my footprint. The club's going to continue to travel under the sand, and what happens? See how the sand covers the face? So that's where you won't feel the clicking of the golf ball because that sand throws the ball out as I exit through the toe of my shoe print. Does everybody understand that? We good there? Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to get started. We're going to take some practice swings because we can never do that when we're actually playing golf. We're going to take some practice swings to get you guys comfortable with the motion, and then we're going to put some golf balls down and let you guys hit them. Cool?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Here we go.